everyone. Nicole here, and I have with me Margaret. So, Margaret has a very soft energy. I believe it is the spirit of a child. Um, when I feel her energy, it feels like a little girl. I could be wrong, but I do feel like this is the spirit of a little girl. And we will find out, hopefully, today. So I did things a little different today. I wanted to shut everything off, all of the lights. I put these lights here, that way it illuminates Margaret so you can see her well. Because I feel like in a lot of the videos, even with the overhead light on, it casts a shadow like on the face. You can't really see the vessel very well. And so I wanted to really illuminate the vessel and really show you guys like how beautiful they are. So I also added the music box that's on the left side of her, and I will go through all of this with her so she knows how to use them. So we will just get right into it. So hi Margaret. There are a bunch of tools kind of scattered all over, and I'm going to go through all of them with you. That way you know how to use them. And nothing will hurt you when you interact with these tools. Nothing will harm you. They are just to show me that you're here and so you can communicate with me. So over by those candles on that table back there, I have a circular disc. It's white, and if you stand next to it, it'll make the light light up. I also have a flashlight over there, and if you turn the flashlight, it will turn it on, and then you can use that to show me that you're here as well. And then I have, let me just turn these on. It's okay. So if you interact with these blinky balls, then it'll blink just like that. We have the music box to your left there, the little statue with the little boy and girl. And I know that I don't know which spirit it is, and it could be a couple of you, play with that music box sometimes. And so I put that over there, so if you wanted to play with it, you can. And then this right here is an EMF detector. That, if you stand next to it, if you touch it, anything like that, it'll make the lights light up. This red light behind you, if you talk into that, I will be able to hear you when I play it back. And of course we have the spirit box, which I will use later. So we will just get right into it. Now, when I ask you these questions, I'm going to ask you them twice. I'm going to ask them once, that way you can tell me your answers in the EVP recorder, which is the red light. And then I'll ask them again when I have the spirit box on. And when the spirit box is playing, it's kind of loud, it's white noise. You can talk through it. And if you talk as loudly as you can, I should be able to hear you. Sometimes I don't hear it in real time and I have to go back and listen to hear the responses, but either way I will still hear it. So we can get started. And I have my little notebook over here so I can take notes and write down anything that happens tonight. So if you want to go stand over there, you can play with the little white disc, and you can stand by it and turn it on. You can play around with the flashlight if you want. Anything you want to play with on this table or that table, feel free. So can you tell me what your actual name is? Where did you live when you were alive? Are you a child? I see you lighting the EMF detector. Is that you? Are you telling me that you're a child? Can you light that up for me again, please? I know it's hard. It's hard to gather energy to interact with these tools. I did see that though. Thank you. Are you a little girl? Are you a little boy? I saw the EMF go off. So are you saying that you're a little boy? Now I will ask, just because I ask all of the spirits that I talk to, even though I've asked you that if you're a child and the EMF did go off, I will ask if you're an adult. Just to make sure that you're not. What year did you pass away? I see the EMF. Thank you. When you first crossed over, what was the first thing you saw? Did someone greet you when you crossed over? If someone greeted you, who was it? Are you happy here? Do you have unfinished business here? see you using the EMF detector. Thank you. If you do have unfinished business, what do you feel like you need to do? Is there anything that you would like to tell me about your life? Do you interact with the other spirits here? Are you the spirit that plays with that music box right there? If you are, can you use it? Would you like a card to play with? I'll put it right here, okay? And you can play with that car. That's a little matchbox car. Is there anything that you would like to say? Now, before we move on to the spirit box, I just want to see if you can interact with some of the other tools that I have, just to see if we can communicate that way. And it might be easy to ask yes/no questions. You can always interact with something for a yes and not interact with it for a no. Let's say the flashlight, for instance. If you go over there to that table that the candles are on, you're going to see the long, skinny flashlight. And if you can turn that on by twisting the top, then we can use that. I can ask you questions that have a yes/no answer, and you could turn it on for yes. You can leave it off for no. And if that's too hard, if it takes too much energy, that's okay. But I will give you a second to see if you want to go over there and turn that flashlight on. Now there is also a circular white disc on that same table. And if you walk over there and you touch it or stand really close to it, interact with it somehow, it will light up. And it won't hurt you, it's just a light. And if you don't want to do those things, that's okay too. I don't push. I respect boundaries. We have these blinky balls here. We have one right here and we have one right over there. And if you touch those, they will blink. Well, you can use them anytime you want for the rest of the time that we talk here. You can play with your car, you can play with the music box, you can play with anything that you'd like. I'm going to turn on the spirit box. It is kind of loud. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a warning because it is loud. But when you talk through it and give your answers, try to say them as loudly as possible so that way I can hear it. All right, and let me turn the volume up. Hi, Margaret. Now, I'm only talking with the spirit that is attached to Margaret. Can you tell me what your name is? Where did you live when you were alive? Are you a child? Are you a little girl? Are you a little boy? Now, I'm pretty sure that you're a child, but I will ask this anyway. Are you an adult? Now, I'm talking with the spirit that's attached to Margaret only. What year did you pass away? After you passed away, what was the first thing you saw? If you do have unfinished business, what do you feel like you need to do? Is there anything you'd like to tell me about your life? Do you interact with the other spirits here? Are you the spirit that plays with the music box? Do you interact with the cats? Can the cat see you right now? Is there anything that you would like to say? Where are you standing right now? Next to me? Do you want to touch me? You can. Do you want a hug? Is there anything you'd like to say before I shut this off? Okay, I'm going to shut this off now. I know it's kind of loud. It's a bit loud. So before I end this, we still have a couple of minutes. I usually go to about the 30-minute mark. I know that it can get tiring to try to interact with all of these tools and try to communicate, and I understand that, you know, this is not something that is done a lot, so it may be a little bit difficult to gather the energy to interact with these. But I will ask you before I end this video if you would like to interact with any of the other tools that you haven't used yet. And so we have the blinky balls and the motion sensor light and the flashlight and the music box. Feel free to use any of those. And like I said, it's a good way to know that you're here, and we don't necessarily have to answer questions with them. It's just a good way for me to confirm that you're here in the room with me. And I can feel you right now. I know that you're here, but it's always nice to have that validation and that proof that you're here. Which I do get that with the EMF detector as well. But you can use anything. You can, did you just touch me? Did you touch my arm? Can you use the EMF detector to let me know if you touched my arm? Maybe that wasn't you. That could have been another spirit too. There are a lot here. So sometimes when I start talking to one spirit, other spirits will try to come through and talk as well. And it's one of the reasons why I try to say out loud that I'm only talking to the spirit that is attached to the vessel that I have here. Because they'll all try to talk at the same time. And even though I will say to all of you that everybody will have a turn in talking with me, and we will talk multiple times. Are you on the bed? I could have sworn, now this could just be like a, because it's so dark in here, it just could be a play of light and like a, trick of the eyes. But I could have sworn I just seen something moving on the bed. And I see Ben over there, but Ben is laying down. So I'm not sure if that was just a trick of the eyes or if you were actually on the bed. Okay, well, you know what, Margaret? And I hope that I get your name on here so that way I can start calling you by your actual name and not by the vessel name. I'd love to address you by your name. And, I really appreciate you coming here and talking with me and interacting with the tools that you have. I really appreciate you using your energy and, letting me know that you're here using the EMF detector. And I know I heard some responses on the spirit box. So I will definitely be listening to that, and I will be listening to the EVP recorder to see if you have said anything on there as well. But I just really, really want to thank you, and I appreciate you, and I hope that you know that you are part of our family, and that, we want you to feel that way. We want you to feel loved, and we want you to feel respected, and we want you to feel like you belong here. And so I hope that you do feel that way, and I look forward to future sessions with you. And until next time, I will see you guys in the YouTube world in the next video, and I'm going to continue talking to the spirit that's attached to Margaret for a little bit. Thanks. Bye.